Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time car show. This hour, we talk with Richard Tomlin with the SCCA.
All right.
Take a look at the events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the 2021 Subaru Ascent.
All right.
Where's that Ascent? Ascent, I think is the way it's pronounced.
Subaru.
And we'll have this week's Auto News headline all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show.
Awesome.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, fiddling with his computer down there.
Fiddling.
And then we have Mr. King Conrad DeLong there with his Rally.
Cussmaster.
Rally
350.
Rally 350 shirt on that doesn't run.
Yeah.
And then there's Jeff Zekin.
We need more Jeff.
We do need more Jeff. And by the way,
And
we
Jeff's still
want
in the
you
corner.
to get the rally fixed.
I want to get the rally fixed. I just need to stop and do it.
Free the rally.
Well, we'll come over there.
No, it isn't.
help you.
Yeah.
You coming over to help isn't going to.
Well, okay, so
Just
what
me.
is it going to take?
What?
Just stop and take the time to get it over to the shop.
I'm offended at that.
Well,
I am.
But
if you're going to come help
it's
somebody,
a steering column lock, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the key cylinder. It's the rack to the ignition switch that's jammed up. So you got to remember the key cylinder, which would be easy enough just to pull the wheel and pop the key cylinder out. There's a pin behind it, and it rotates on a rack, and that rack slides. The gear slides this rack down to the bottom of the column to operate the ignition switch down there. The problem is the shaft that goes down to the switch.
Cheater bar.
Well, it probably would work, but then it would never work again.
I say we jump in it. I say we do it.
Anyhow, let's get to the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. You said SCCA this weekend. Richard is at the PPIHC, and you can tell because he's got a T-shirt to go with it.
All right, here we go.
Been there,
There's
done
Richard.
that, got the shirt.
Hey, Richard.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
You look a little disheveled, and you've got a guest with you. We didn't know that you'd have a guest, but we always welcome guests on the show. But why are you? Your hair's messed up.
Looks like you just got up.
What are you
Really?
doing?
It's a rough week up here. Let's put it that way.
Is it? How's the weather up there?
Right now, about 50 degrees, a little bit of light rain. So it is what it is right now.
Okay, so tell everybody
Forecasting rain and snow for
that
the
don't
race.
know about Richard Tomlin. What are you doing up there? Why are you up there?
This is for the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb.
Yeah.
Happens once a year. Race 12.4 miles uphill. Climb about 6,000 feet. 156 turns.
And are you going to make a run up there?
I'm not, but Raymund is. Raymund is one of our customers since 2014, running a Dodge Viper up the hill.
Wow.
This will be the second time the Viper.
Second time for the Viper.
Yeah, over time up the hill, competing in Pikes Peak.
So you know all 156 turns already? Hopefully.
That is a big joke. We consider this a driving the edge of your seat course.
Oh, boy.
You're looking for every corner. You've got your key corners that are marked or you know what they are, but most of the corners you drive by sight.
Wow. I
So
can't.
do you have to do this by yourself in the car, or do you have somebody helping you?
Correct. You're by yourself.
Starting in 2012, they stopped allowing navigators in the car. So completely by yourself.
Oh
They
my
cut
God!
the risk in half, right? Saves
Well,
on insurance.
Yeah, I guess that.
well,
Okay.
it's probably because something happened, and that's why they stopped
Well, it
it.
was the Mitsubishi.
Oh, we know
that
something
went over-
happened, but we're not going to talk about that today.
Yeah. I can't even turn
We'll
right
let that
on
one
red.
slide.
So is that Pikes Peak over your shoulder there? Is that the top up there? Beautiful background.
No, we're actually facing the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
We're actually at the base of Pikes Peak, staying at Airbnb.
Well, it looks beautiful. I mean, we're there with you in spirit, if not in.
Yeah, we got the pictures that you sent. Do you want to show some of them?
Yeah, sure. Put some of those up. That's a way people can kind of see what we're doing. It's interesting to talk and see my ugly mug and messed up hair, but race cars are always better, right?
Yeah.
Interesting place for a toilet.
Yeah.
Right there at the hairpin.
Well, it's his and hers.
Well, so that is for your corner workers. So basically, every time a car goes by, there's a person that's stationed at each one of those porta potties.
Oh, it scares the
And they
what out.
call when each car goes by so that you know where a car could have gone off.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was because it scares
You're
the
narrowing your search area in case somebody makes a mistake.
it scares the you know what out of you.
So when did they finally pave all the way up? I know when I went up in, it had to be 08, 07 or so, that it still wasn't paved all the way up.
10,
It was
right?
It's called 12.
12 when they finally paved it.
We're arguing between ourselves. It was either 2010 or 2012. It became fully paved.
And needless to say, when they paved it, the times dropped proportionately to
Absolutely.
paving it. So what kind of time are you expecting to run in the Viper?
Anywhere from 10:30 to 11. There's a lot of variables with the weather and the cooling of the car and the driver as well.
So running a naturally aspirated Viper, I'm assuming, how much power
Natural aspirated Viper.
how much power will that lose as you get to
Yeah, I was
altitude?
thinking the same thing.
So at the start's 9,300 feet. I'm roughly 82% of my power at sea level. At the finish, it's 14,000 plus feet. It's about 58% sea level, assuming the tune is happy adjusting for it.
Wow.
Yeah. The computer can compensate as much as it can anyway.
And what kind of fuel are you running?
Sunoco.
Well, no,
He's
I,
grinning.
no,
93.
Yeah, he's grinning when he's
The
saying
regular
that,
grade
too,
or
yeah.
100?
I was just wondering, was it pump gas? You're running
There's a lot of people that
E85?
play with octanes. The issue is we don't have enough time here to really play and test with octanes on the motor. And we've seen other people have some bad results doing some of that stuff.
Are there any nitrous packages that those guys are running out there?
Nitrous is not commonly used. There was a guy last year that ran in an Evo. He made it to 11 a mile and blew the motor. So
Yeah, that's what I would be afraid
once
of.
again,
Well,
nobody's
yeah.
doing
The
nitrous.
air starts getting thin, so it's harder to control that nitrous.
How old do you have to be to run up there? Is it a 16, 18, 21 years of old?
Actually, I don't know.
age?
I've never been asked that question.
You know,
I think it's actually
young
earlier
people.
than driver's age. You just have to get it approved. I know there's a girl that was 15 that ran it, so I know less than driver's
okay.
age.
Wow.
Very cool.
As long as you can demonstrate, and this is an event where you have to apply to get in its application process, send pictures of your car, what your car's done, where you've raced, where you've competed, and then they'll give you an opportunity.
So tell me more about the Viper. Have you any kind of engine modifications to it, suspension modifications, any of that?
Not that he wants to tell us about.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Check every box.
All right.
Been building it over the process of maybe 8 years or so.
Has it run Pikes Peak before?
It's I ran it my rookie year, and this is the second time it's been back.
Okay.
My,
And the modifications that you made to it are based on the run that you made originally?
Yeah, so there's cooling modifications that we're doing to the car. We have some shock settings that we're using for the car specific to Pikes Peak. We're choosing between different sets of different compounds tire.
So you mentioned that this is the second time for the Viper to be there, but you've been there 4 times?
That's correct.
What did you drive in between the 2 times?
So in between, I tried a boosted car. I had a Turbo S 911 that I brought up with a PDK. All-wheel drive, a little bit easier to drive up the hill,
Okay.
and very well suited to the altitude.
Okay.
And what was the other one?
Just been the Viper and the Porsche.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Porsche, that's
okay.
it.
So what gear will you what highest gear will you get up into in the Viper as you're going up the
Most
hill?
likely third. My third gear goes up to about 133,
Wow.
134.
And you hit that kind of speeds going up this hill with all these turns.
Yes. Yeah, speed limit's normally 30 mile an hour on this
Not
road.
me.
Keep that in mind.
Your sphincter holds on to that seat pretty tight, doesn't it?
That's the sphincter gear. That's
Oh
fifth
my
gear.
gosh.
Oh, wow. Not me. Won't catch me out there. I mean, I'll watch, but no.
I'll tell you what. I'll stand back and watch you do
you go.
that. But I'm not. No, I'm
So
I'm
what
good.
looking at the Viper, it probably has a few aero mods, but not like some of the cars out there that have these big snowplow aero mods on them.
It's very much aero-wise like the street version. It's basically just an ACR package on the Viper.
Yeah,
nothing's been really added to it as far as some of these other builds.
But that holds you within a certain class, correct? The level of aero mods, does that not move you up and down?
The level of aero mods plays a part, but there's definitely a lot more that I can do in my class, which I'm running in Pikes Peak Open. They've got an unlimited, a time attack, a production, exhibition,
open wheel.
Open wheel.
So is your Mazda up there, Richard?
No, it's not up here this year. Next year, 100-year anniversary of Pikes Peak, we hope to bring up 2 at least, if not 3 cars. So we'll see what happens.
So
we have goals.
Richard, did you build his car?
We built the cage for Raymund in this one, and then we've assisted with a lot of little things.
Okay. Very cool.
Interesting. So, but you're there kind of like pit crewing?
Some of the Apex crew is assisting him. I'm working as tech for Pikes Peak. So I'm actually doing tech inspections for all the cars.
That's awesome.
Speaking of working for Pikes Peak, you had some other news that would you care to share it?
Other news? What news?
The safety
lots
crew.
of news.
Well, okay. Well, spit it
Yeah,
out.
so race crew basically. Yeah, so basically race official. So I get to actually be everywhere, go everywhere, do everything. We're over everything from tires to roll cages to fire systems to ignition switches. And Monday was a full day of just teching all 55 cars, bottom to top, trying to ensure that if something does go wrong when these people are going uphill, that they're in their best prepared situation for it.
And we've
already had 1 car off, 1 car rolled, 1 engine blown, and no injuries to anyone yet.
Yeah. So but I guess what I was getting to, you're one of 6 now of the safety crew that goes through all these vehicles there. So it's that's the reason he's partially the reason he's up there all week.
What kind of tires do you run on that Viper?
I'm running Hoosier.R compound tires. They're A7s. They come up to temp pretty quickly. We're one of the few teams out here that aren't even running tire warmers.
So are they slicks?
Yeah.
They're slicks.
They're slicks.
Okay.
They're
semi-slick.
They're in kind of in between because they've got a Department of Transportation approval,
which is 2 circumference grooves around it to pull water away, which doesn't work real well, but the grooves are there for it.
Now, you said there's light rain in the area. Does that hamper testing or driving? If it rains, is it called off or postponed?
Or just your hairdo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Testing one of the days was really, really bad. We were low 40s and rain, steady rain. Pretty much everybody was just limping through the course, just trying to learn it. Lots of cars off, but no major damage to anybody.
But the course...
It was a serious dampening on testing.
But, Richard, the course doesn't start at the bottom of the mountain.
No, it starts 10,000 feet, 9,000 feet.
I believe he said 9,000 earlier, yeah.
Okay,
9,000. Yeah, you go past the Crystal Reservoir. For those people that know it, you go past Crystal Reservoir about a mile, and right there is where we start.
Is this televised?
12 point.
Will this be televised?
Mobile One is televising it, so you'd go to Mobile One app or Mobile One's Facebook page, Mobile One's YouTube page. They'll be broadcasting from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. Start to finish, everything.
As famous and world-renowned as this event is, just blows my mind that they can't get a national television deal to put this together. Do you think that's because of the way that they stage people off going up the hill, that it just takes so long to get 55 cars up the hill where they couldn't come up with a good TV package for it?
I remember in the late 80s and early 90s watching like network coverage on
exactly.
Wide World of Sports.
Exactly. That's why I mentioned
one of the things that triggered my interest in the hill climb. So that's like it planted a seed like way back then of that. I want to race this race. It looks so cool.
With the 50,
it can be done. I just think it's very expensive, and a lot of what Mobile One is doing is they've got stationary webcams set up at specific points through the course.
Oh, okay.
And then they're listening to officials' radio to make commentary.
You said there's 55 entries. Is that more than last 2 years ago? Because it wasn't running last year. Is that about average for it?
That is less. They're really focusing on trying to put on a better show.
Okay.
They're really scrutinizing the cars that are coming in to make sure they're not, because Pikes Peak runs a lot of. You've got two variables. You got the really high-end cars. I mean, you've got the Bentley, you've got the Porsche Champion cars that are here. They're honestly probably on $1 million budget for this race.
Wow.
Factory-backed efforts. And then you've got garage shops that are coming out and competing against them head-to-head. So some of the garage shops in the past have had some significant failures that have held up the event. And they're trying to eliminate a lot of that, is my belief. And they're really getting very particular on who they accept. Car has to be out driving, tested before you ever apply. Your driver needs a good driving resume of what he's done, where he's been, or she has been, and completed events.
Have you denied?
You don't want any failures.
Have you denied any cars to run since you're the track official and say, hey, you can't do that here, you got to fix it?
We had probably 7 cars that had to leave the tech line and go remedy things. We had one that did not return. They were not able to fix their issues, which was sad because they traveled from Japan to do that. But it was an electric car and it had some small safety issues we had to resolve.
So if on the way up somebody blows a tranny and spews all that all over the drive, all over the road, how quickly do they redress the road to make it safe again? Because, you see this at NHRA, you see it at NASCAR, that they've got teams out there that quickly can clean the road up and make it safe again. How much of an issue is it up there at Pikes Peak?
Well, of course, it depends on the size of the spill, but they've got 10 separate teams staged going up and down the course. So the response time is pretty immediate. How quickly they can get it cleaned up is the challenge, because they are very particular about keeping the course the same for every competitor.
Sure. Yeah. Fair and equal.
On
a car off takes longer than a cleanup of a spill.
Okay. So on course at any given time, there's only one vehicle on course at a time, or will they roll them off?
4 minutes between cars, so you shouldn't have any more than 3 to 4 cars on course at a time.
Okay. So if let's say car number 1 oils down the road, the next 2 or 3 cars are screwed.
If they put in enough oil, they would throw a red flag, and the red flag would actually stop the cars. They would send those cars back down. They get 20 minutes before they actually get to go make a rerun.
Okay, so they get another
run.
shot. Yeah. So what's the average time to get up to the top? You said 3 or 4 cars at a time. That's 10 or 12 minutes to make a run?
It's pretty much gauged, I would think, between 11 and 12 minutes.
Okay.
You've got your fast guys that are in the 8s and 9s, and you've got some slow guys that are in the 13s.
Are these drivers in contact with the officials through radio for just what Conrad said? Hey, you got an incident at turn 29.
They just click a light on
We've
track.
Got spotters all over the mountain.
That's what your spotters are for there. Okay.
So when they communicate to the driver of a red flag, is it physically a corner worker waving a flag, or do they have a light that pops on in the interior of the vehicle for them?
No, it's physically a corner worker waving a flag.
Okay. Wow.
Go back and think 1955. That's how we run this event.
So you really have to pay attention
in all
to
seriousness,
corner workers.
It is as grassroots of an event as you can get. That's probably what makes it so special to many people.
And even from a terrain perspective, it's really hard to get communications up and down the mountain.
Oh, okay.
We could be corner
workers. We don't even
workers.
have cell service up here.
Yeah. In wheel time corner workers.
No, that's okay. I'll pass. But I'd sure love to go for a ride with somebody.
Oh,
else.
no, not
so
me.
how was your? Because Richard was explaining that your practice runs are bottom third, top third, middle third. That you don't get to take a complete run together. You have to piece the runs in 3 sections as you're practicing. How many runs in a practice do you get to take?
Anywhere from 1 to maybe 8.
Oh,
it
wow.
all depends on how smoothly the practice is going, that no one's having issues or offs, and the number of competitors in that particular group. I think they like to divide up the practices in chunks. It allows the rookies and everyone else to kind of see each section, because each section has a very distinct personality. And it helps you remember the sections better when you get to see it throughout the week in different sections.
Well, I'm going to tune in tomorrow on Mobile One between the F1 and the NASCAR and the IMSA race.
Nice.
And
Busy day.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow.
And hopefully watch you have great success tomorrow going up the hill.
And what number is your car? 888?
Triple eight. 888.
Okay.
It's the Maroon Viper.
Yeah,
You're going to be able to see the Maroon Viper a whole lot easier. You're going to be able to see the numbers go whizzing
Well, I want to
by.
make sure I get the right one.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always good to see you, Richard, and best of luck to you guys.
Fantastic.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for this hour's car review. And Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the Subaru Ascent model year 2021.
Yeah, it did.
He was going to.
So what we're talking about here is the largest vehicle that Subaru makes. It is a 3-row midsize SUV. Now, you can get this vehicle, I was surprised to find out, you can get it in either a 7 or an 8-passenger configuration on the interior. It's got pretty much straightforward styling on it, kind of square lines on it. You know, it's Subaru. They've only got a couple of vehicles that they really get out there and do a lot of fancy stuff with. Got LED fog lights up front with some steering responsive headlights, which I thought was really cool because I didn't realize it had it until one night I was driving it and I noticed it. Got the big moonroof, got 20-inch alloy wheels, and it's got a lot of glass around it that gives the driver a real good perspective of what's going on around him. Now, you get into the interior because we were driving the limited edition. Now, this is the next to the top of the line.
Okay.
And we had the leather-trimmed seating for 7 in this vehicle. So we had the heated front seats, 2 captain's chairs, second row is 2. The third is supposed to be for 3 adults. Now, that's a 60-40 fold-down seat. And I'd be hard-pressed to believe. I'd be hard to believe. Anyway. So it's got tri-zone climate, so all 3 areas can get plenty of cooling. Got an 8-inch infotainment screen, which is where you're going to find your Subaru Starlink, which is their infotainment system. The second and third row windows have sunshades. The seats fold down. They don't actually fold down flat. They get really close, and then they tilt up forward so that you can get into that third row. The thing about the third row, the seats are flat. The backs are very straight, and the base is very straight. They're kind of flat. Is the
Put
best
the
way I
kids
can
in the
describe
back.
them. Put the kids back there.
Yep.
And they can listen to
Who cares if they're comfortable?
to the optional Harman Kardon 14-speaker system that we had.
Cool.
One of the other things I found, I wish I'd have found this note before they picked up the vehicle. It says it has 19 cup and bottle holders. I wish I'd have known that before, so I'd have had a chance to find them all.
Each
You can
one
put
of
3 6-packs in that thing.
I'm telling you,
Awesome.
you can load it up really good. So now, up under the hood, to keep this thing rolling, we've got the 2.4-liter turbo boxer engine. That's the only one that's available for this vehicle. 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. It's backed by a CVT, but you can throw it over into the manual mode, and it's going to act like an 8-speed manual transmission. You can shift it manually, 8 speeds. Mm-hmm. And since it's all-wheel drive and the way they've got it figured up, this thing is rated to tow 5,000 pounds. So
wow.
It'll haul quite a bit. This vehicle, I parked it in the driveway next to my wife's 2015 Sorento, and it's much bigger. I was surprised how much bigger it is. And
well, that engine powertrain package, Subaru's proven that across their line.
Yes, they use it in a lot of vehicles. Right. The ride and handling, it's got 8.7 inches of ground clearance, and with the all-wheel drive, it's not necessarily an off-road vehicle, but people that use the Subarus, that's what they're known for, mud, snow, that kind of thing. They're going to find that that's really where it's going to sit, and you're going to really like it. And, again, the driver has a great field of view because of all the glass and the high seating area. Now, something you might want to compare it to would be a Honda Pilot all-wheel drive. Gets up to around 45,220.
But a Pilot's smaller, isn't it? The Honda Pilot would be smaller.
It's still a midsize.
Okay.
They still consider it a midsize. And, again, in that midsize category, particularly with the 3-row midsizes, some of them are bigger, significantly bigger physically than the others. And you, like I say, I noticed it when I parked it side by side. The other one you could look at might be a Kia Telluride, which has become very popular.
Yep, those are
all-wheel
big.
drive.
Yeah, they are.
$44,390. So you can get into a base Subaru Ascent for $32,295. But a base limited, which brings into the leather, the all-wheel drive, a lot of features, starts at $39,595. Now, our test vehicle, MSRP as tested, is $43,595, which includes
Not bad.
$1,000.
Not bad at
That's
all.
not bad at all.
And if you, again, I think I kind of skipped over the EPA at 20 in the city, 26 on the highway, 22 combined, with a very responsive engine for that kind of money. You've got a little bit of economy there for the fuel economy, and you've got a lot of room in the passenger in the first 2 rows. Third row, and
well, that's on any vehicle.
Yeah, but also that little turbo 4-cylinder has got some oomph when you get up.
Oh, it does.
Is it peppy?
It does.
Yeah.
In fact, it is very peppy. In fact, sometimes if you're just driving around town, to me, it's a little touchy.
Oh.
If you're
it gets
hammering
into
it, if
boost
you're
too
busy,
quick.
if you're looking for some speed, it's all there. But if you're just kind of easing into it, sometimes it's a little touchy, almost like
It wants to go.
It does, but I think that something the throttle body could be adjusted.
Release the power.
Downshifts quickly to get up into boost to move.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the CVT unless you really hammer it into the manual mode, so you really don't notice it.
But Subaru is very much a leader in CVT. I don't think they sell anything but a CVT, except I want to say maybe in the Impreza where they offer a standard shift.
Well, that's when you get over into the performance vehicles.
Right.
Other than that, it is a CVT.
Everything is CVT.
and they're real heavy into the all-wheel drive vehicles, and that's what they're building the reputation on, and this goes right with it.
And have for years, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Let's take a look at the events calendar.
All right.
Well, a few things coming up. Again, Tailpipes and Tacos on July 17th out at is it going to be at more than one Loopy Tortillas? We'll be out at the Katy Freeway. I imagine it'll be on the
It'd be at the one of-
yes, the
it'll
Kirby
be-
location,
yes.
and still up in Tomball.
No Tomball.
Just those 2 locations.
Yes.
Okay.
Inside and outside the loop.
And then July 25th is going to be Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's.
I like the sound of that.
Little
one.
Woodrow's out there on 249 west on of Tomball.
They got lots of places to, you go get you a Motel 6 and wear off that liquor before you get back in the car.
Well, there's an event called In-Wheel Time and
Well,
Cocktails.
it's called Cars and Cocktails.
Cars and Cocktails.
In-Wheel Time and Cocktails every Saturday morning from 8 to 11.
we haven't had any cocktails.
July 31st is going to be the Cold
Yes.
Spring Car, Truck, and Bike Show at the Cold Spring, Texas Community Center. And actually, that's been going on for a long time and very well attended car show.
When is that?
July 31st. So Cold Spring is College Station-ish area, I believe. Ish. And then Saturday, September 25th, Woody's 3rd annual Waterfront Car Show at the Topwater Grill, and we will be there live and
Live
in
and direct.
person.
Should I bring the Corvette?
Should I bring the rally?
Yes, you should bring the
should
rally.
bring the
As a
rally.
matter of fact, now you've got plenty of time to get the damn thing fixed. Would you please get it fixed?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Dad.
Please. We're begging you.
Yes.
So
Take it out of your allowance.
Where are you going to take it?
Well, the guy who's done some work on it for me before, he's moved shops and actually moved further away from the house.
Okay, so are you going to have it trailered out there? You're going to have it towed out there?
I'm probably going to see if I can.
Get a flatbed out there?
No, I'm going to probably pull the ignition switch out and see if I can get the rack manually and just start it, because I'm
Engage
going
it
to have
and
to
move it.
replace it anyhow. So if I tear it up in the process, I tear it
Isn't
up in
this
the
a new steering column?
Yes. This
Did
is
you
a,
fix
this is a
that tear
complete
up?
column.
So you're sure it is what is wrong with it is what is wrong with it?
I'm-
There might be something else. You can
No,
get in there and replace it.
There's 3 things involved, and what's happening now is that as I rotate the ignition switch, I can feel the rack binding. So it's either the rack or it's the ignition switch in the bottom.
Okay.
So
All right.
There's one event that you didn't mention. July 24th, Red Card, our band, will be playing at the Marina Bar and Grill.
I thought you were playing at Hooly Hooly too.
No, that's in August
And when in August?
7th.
August 7th at the Hooly
Hooly
Hooly.
Hut on the Strand.
You can come watch Jeff.
It's a blast.
And they're going to do their Free Britney concert.
We're going over on time. We better stop.
It's the In-Wheel Time Car Show. We'll be back with more running mouths after this.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, July 17th at 2 Lupi Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos, inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, July 17th, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.